Hi, I'm Kate. I'm an ultra runner, a running coach, and here on this channel I talk all things about running. Welcome to this channel if you're a runner, or you've just started running, or you're just thinking about starting running. Recently I've been recording a series of videos focusing on frequently asked questions, so to say. So giving you some running basics and talking about things I often get asked as a running coach. Today I want to talk about a topic that I find specifically interesting and important for runners. Actually, if there are a couple of runners in a company of people, then probably they can talk about this literally forever, and that is running injuries. I think runners love talking about what kind of pains they got while they were running, how they overcame the pains, what helped them, what didn't. But generally speaking, what I want to do today is I want to give you 10 rules which will help you minimize the risk of getting injured because of running. Rule number 1. When you start running, if you're a total beginner, start easy. So start with doing really easy pace running, conversational pace running, the pace that doesn't get you out of breath. You can even start with doing run, walk, run. So this run, walk, run method is just a method of running for a little interval, then walking for a little interval. Your heart rate goes down, you get back to normal, you're not out of breath anymore, and then you start running again, and then you can repeat that. And then slowly you increase the intervals of running and you decrease the intervals of walking. For the first 2 months, your body will be adapting to running, to regular running, and do not overexert yourself. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is increase the training load slowly, not more than by 10% a week, and don't increase your overall duration or length of your long run by more than 10 to 15% a week. The thing is that when you start running, your cardiovascular system adapts to the load much faster, and you feel really good. You feel like you want to run more, you want to run longer, you want to run faster, but probably your musculoskeletal system hasn't adapted yet. And that's one of the reasons injuries can come in. So generally speaking, don't move too fast. Slowly, gradually increase your training load. Rule number 3, don't forget about recovery. I think that all athletes know that you actually improve not during the training session on its own, but during the time you recover after it. That's why it's very important, it's vitally important to actually have full, proper recovery after a session of running. And for different people, recovery can mean different things. If you are a total beginner, I'd say that you need a full rest day in order to recover. That's why for a beginner, I would recommend doing from 3 to 4 days of running a week, not more than that, in order that you can have full rest days between your training sessions. For a more experienced runner, recovery may mean active recovery, like running some really slow runs, doing really slow workouts, but recovery can also be some cross training, like riding a bike or doing, I don't know, Pilates or something like that. That can be just a different kind of training. But don't forget that you have to recover between your training sessions. Rule number 4. If you are already at a stage when you can run almost all days in a week, you can have many trainings in a week, you should still make sure that you have recovery runs in there, and that would mean mixing up more speedy sessions, some speed work like fartleks, hill reps, intervals, with recovery runs when you go really slow and really easy. And also, I would recommend, even for experienced runners, to have at least 1 full recovery rest day a week. Don't be surprised, the light has changed a little bit. I've realized that my phone battery died when I was recording this, so I have to re-record the second part of this video again. So we are on rule number 5, and rule number 5 would be to do cross training and to do some strength work. So the thing is that you need to build the core of your muscles. You need to build muscles around your joints that would help to hold your joints in place in order to reduce the risk of getting injured while running. This will definitely help you run better and, with, well, I want to say injury-free. You're never 100% guaranteed injury-free, but with less risk of injuries. You can either do strength work in a gym, use your own body weight, or use weight, use resistance bands. If you already have a certain area which is problematic, where you've already experienced pain or you are recovering from an injury that you already had and you want to go back to running, then it would be a great idea to consult a physio and get some recommendations on specific exercises you can do to target that area. Otherwise, you can get some general training sets, once again, off YouTube, my channel, other channels, and that will definitely help your own body to run and not get injured. Rule number 6, and that's what I want to highlight, the importance of stretching. So when you run or when you do some other types of sports, but with running, certainly because it's kind of a repetitive sport, it's, I would say, extremely important to do stretching because your muscles tend to get pretty much tight and stiff. The thing is that when your muscle is elastic, whenever there is a force acting, on that muscle, it cannot sort of stretch, go back to its normal shape and length. But when it is tight, instead of like naturally stretching, it can actually get all those tears, micro tears and tears, and that's one of the ways of getting injured. Also, the places where the muscle is sort of attached to your bones or joints, that's also the area when a tense muscle can, get the injury, can get some kind of a tear. Do stretching. Best way is to do static stretching right before you go to bed and hold each pose. Don't go too crazy on stretching. We're not doing ballet, but hold each pose for something like 50 to 60 seconds. Rule number 7. It is about wearing compression clothes. And I would say for runners, the area that you would want to protect with compression is certainly going to be the area around your calves, well, basically your calves. The thing is that your muscles are in those fascia, and this is kind of this very, very thin film. I mean, if you've ever, I don't know, cooked chicken, for example, you might have noticed that kind of very, very transparent thin film around, the meat, the muscles. So the thing is that it sort of holds muscles in place. But when you start exercising and your muscles expand because of the, intense blood flow, basically fascia may not expand as quickly, and it gets extremely hard for it to hold the muscle in place. So with wearing compression, you may actually hold fascia to, hold the muscles in place, and that can prevent injuries connected, related to that specific organ of our body. Rule number 8 is make sure that you get enough nutrients, enough minerals, enough electrolytes, enough fuel for your body. One of the reasons people get overtrained and eventually get injured is when they do not fuel their body properly. So if you're malnourished, or if you don't get enough of all those different nutrients that you need for your body, then you can, your body starts using its own tissue, and it cannot just rebuild the areas that it needs to rebuild, and that means you can get an injury. So basically focus on apart from just a complex and varied diet, focus on things like vitamins, especially the B group of vitamins. Focus on things like glucosamine, chondroitin, some collagen. I'm not saying you necessarily have to take everything, but from time to time you can think about doing courses of those substances, because they can help repair the tissues, the connective tissues, which, you know, part of it is your muscles, etc., in your body. Rule number 9, choose proper training gear, especially focus on your training shoes. And I will be doing a separate video on training shoes, on, you know, on how you have to choose them, what you have to know about training shoes to get a proper training shoe. But generally speaking, I'd say go to a, you know, running shop which focuses on running, not just a sports store. Talk to people who work there. They would be able to give you advice. They would put you on a treadmill, do gait analysis, determine whether you are neutral or have overpronation. Then you can think about how much cushioning you want in a shoe. But I must say there is a shoe for everyone. You can find a shoe for, you know, for each person. The market is huge. There are all sorts of different types of shoes, but make sure you get a proper shoe that meets your goals and helps you run. I would say rule number 10, follow a training schedule, follow a training plan. Because when you have a training plan, it means that it has some logic to it, that there is a certain repetitive pattern. Then on a proper training plan, you are sure that you are not increasing the load too much, that you're giving yourself enough rest between workouts, that you're doing different types of workouts. All that is important. And when you have that training plan for you, you can be certain that you are following something, you know, consistently, with some logic in it. And when you just run how you want to run at the moment, it can be tricky sometimes, because actually, you know, our mind plays some games with us sometimes, and you might even like forget how hard the training was yesterday, do another hard one today, because it feels like you've got all the power to do it. And also when you have a plan, it's much easier to make sure that, you know, that you follow all the rules that I've mentioned above. So these were 10 rules that you can follow in order to minimize your risk of getting injured because of running, or just generally getting injured doing basically other sports, especially endurance sports. And please hit the like button if you like this video, hit subscribe button. I will be recording more videos on running, on nutrition, on running, you know, exercises that you can do as a runner. And hope to see you soon again here. Bye bye.